Hello boys and girls, this is Anders of course, and welcome back to another Battlefield 4 video. This time we got some nice gameplay with the AK-12, one of the starting weapons in Battlefield 4, and I thought I would play around with this weapon a little bit just to show you guys that the starting weapons in Battlefield 4 are just as good as the starting weapons in Battlefield 3. Actually, in Battlefield 3, the starting weapons were some of the absolutely best weapons, but I would claim though that some of the weapons you unlock in DLCs for Battlefield 4 are a little bit better than the starting weapons overall. Yeah, but the AK-12 is a masterpiece of a weapon for those medium to long range distances. You can also just spray with it like crazy. It has hardly no recoil whatsoever, so it's extremely easy to manage the recoil and just overall kind of fun to play around with, to be honest. It's a nice weapon. I get a good score here. Hope you guys will enjoy the gameplay. So we got some exciting announcements coming from YouTube. First of all, videos are gonna be uploaded, or you're gonna be able to upload the videos in 60 frames per second to YouTube. I don't know if YouTube kind of misphrased this or whatever, because you've been able to upload videos in 60 FPS forever to YouTube. The problem has been though that YouTube converts them to 30 FPS a second and usually kind of screws up the audio compared to the video, so it kind of gets a little bit out of sync. So it's not a new thing that you can upload videos in 60 frames per second to YouTube, but I'm guessing it's gonna be a new thing that you can upload them in 60 FPS and then YouTube will actually keep the videos in 60 FPS a second, so you can actually enjoy the full glory of 60 FPS a second, because it is good shit. We're gonna talk a lot more about that later in the video. Also, YouTube announced a tip jar integrated into the site. Personally, I'm not super excited for it for my personal benefit, so to say, because I personally don't exactly enjoy getting things for free from people, because then it kind of feels like I owe them something. But I feel like this is a great addition for people that make harder to make videos, simply. People that make animated videos or in real life action movies, shorts and that kind of stuff that work many weeks, or in some cases many months or years on one single video, and then release it to YouTube, and the video is awesome, but because of the costs included in it and the very little profit margin you get on YouTube, they can't exactly make many of them or make them very often. So having a tip jar for those kinds of channels would be pretty amazing, I think. I would definitely make sure to tip those kinds of people that work on videos for weeks that I enjoy. Those kind of high quality things, like things that come to mind obviously are like CCP Grey, obviously like some of the guys from the Battlefield Friends, Delarius and Associates, and the Mob Squad and that kind of stuff, because those are things that I personally enjoy very much. But I also know that it's a lot of work that goes into those kinds of videos, and really, I mean, like, shit, you don't make much money on YouTube. People do not get rich easy on YouTube, trust me about this. I can't go into detail a lot about how YouTube works and how making money on YouTube works, but that tip jar is definitely gonna be extremely good for content creators that create content that takes a long time to create and that has a high standard of quality to them, simply. I mean, like, don't get me wrong here, I like my own videos, I'm proud of my own videos, but the most one of my videos I've taken to create is maybe 20 hours for one of my really good montages that I was very proud of, and that's a 5-minute video with gameplay. I didn't draw anything of that or anything like that, I didn't have to do voiceovers or anything like that. It just takes a very long time to make other kinds of videos than gameplay videos, and I think I'm gonna appreciate this a lot, because it's gonna make sure I can kind of show some support towards those people that create really good content, even though it is time consuming and you get very little in reward back, more than the enjoyment and the thanks from the viewers. Okay, let's talk about FPS, frames per second. This is the difference between your game looking like a slideshow and your movie or game looking smooth, nice and enjoyable. One of the most important things when it comes to the movie, video and gaming industries. You will have undoubtedly been told by a random stranger online, by a friend, or maybe even yourself, that herp derp derp, the human eye cannot see more than 24 frames a second, so having anything more in videos, movies, games or TV is just a waste of time. Herp derp. You are fucking wrong. That is so much a lie, and if you believe that lie, you're either stupid or you've been lied to, and I feel sorry for you, but it is okay if you've been lied to. I'm gonna explain the truth to you here, so you know the truth, so you're enlightened. If you're a person that's been telling people this, if you watch this video and you still believe you're right in the end, then all I gotta say to you, good sir, is that you are a fucking moron and there's no helping you. You should probably be thinking about getting a real easy job where your brain doesn't have to work too hard, because otherwise you might drop dead out of exhaustion because you had to multiply 2 plus 2 or something similar. I'm sorry for being such a jerk there, but it is the truth. There is nothing that is true about that statement, and if you believe it, you have been lied to, and if you still believe it when the video is over, you're simply ignorant and stupid and you can't see the truth even if it's in front of you. So that's why I'm so blatantly honest about this. It's not being mean, it's not being anything else, it's just being honest. I'm here to help people and inform people. I obviously realize that most of you guys already know this, but you might not know why it is like this and why you know the truth and why some people are so sorely mistaken, and I shall explain to you why. These 24 frames a second that these kinds of people are talking about is actually not a magical number they just made up. It's actually a tangible, real number that has been used by the video game industry and most of all the movie industry for many decades, and it is something that actually works quite well, and there's a simple reason for it. The human eye notices that a video is a slideshow. All videos are really a slideshow, even video games. They're pictures that get changed a little bit all the time, updated many times per second to give you the illusion of something of reality, something that's actually moving all the time, even though it's a combination of many still pictures that change a little bit over time. Why do then the movie industry only use 24 frames per second in most of their movies slash videos and the TV shows we watch? Simple fact: money. Because it becomes more expensive to put a DVD out that has 60 frames per second movie or video compared to one that only has 24. Why? Because you need more frames, you need more data. Further back you needed more VHS tapes. Further back than that you needed more good old movie rolls, those made of nitrous solulate or whatever that could burst into fire during the Second World War and all that crazy stuff. It's simply a fact about money, because it is the Goldilocks zone. Your movie doesn't look like a slideshow, it looks okay at that number. And okay is good enough, because that means you can have a higher profit margin. It's as simple as that. There's, however, though, a big difference between the video game industry and the movie, TV and video industry overall, because in a video or a movie or a TV show, you watch the screen. The camera changes and so on, and what you're looking at changes all the time, sure, but you're not the one doing the changes, so you don't notice any lag or any input lag whatsoever when that happens. So 24 frames a second still looks okay when you're talking about movies and videos and TV shows, with some exceptions obviously. Some action movies and a lot of sports shows, especially football and hockey for example, where things move very quickly, and golf, definitely improve a hell of a lot getting 60 FPS or even 120 FPS instead of just 24 FPS, because simply it looks better. For example, if you look at a TV show where it's a football match and you look at the football, you're gonna notice that when someone shoots the football, it kind of gets elongated, it kind of looks weird and warped, and that's not how you would see it in reality, right? No, that's because they don't have high enough frames, and that's also why some companies have started to broadcast their sports broadcasts in 60 frames a second, but obviously you need a TV that can show 60 frames a second, otherwise that is obviously not something you're going to be able to take advantage of. When it comes to video games, this is even more important in many ways. First of all, like I talked about earlier, in video games you're the person controlling the camera. You move the camera around and you also look at different spots with the camera, you interact with the world, and the lower FPS you have, the more like a slideshow it becomes and the easier it is to notice that it is a slideshow. Some people even get headaches, they get tired, they get pain in their eyes, they can even get nauseous. Me, for example, I get nauseous if the FPS is too low, and I also get a headache and I get tired. This is something that is quite common, so it's a benefit just because of that reason alone, but also you get a huge benefit to it when you're in games like Battlefield and similar that are FPS games that have multiplayer, simply because the lower frames per second you have, the longer it takes before your frame updates and you are actually told that, hey dude, the enemy is shooting at you. So having high FPS means there's less time between the enemy shooting at you and you actually noticing it. It's kind of like ping, but opposite around. Having high ping is bad, having high FPS is very good. Having low ping is good, having low FPS is very bad. And like I said earlier, this has nothing to do with personal opinion. This is truth, this is science, this have been proven. So if you still believe that 24 FPS a second is good enough for video games, now when you finished watching this, I tell you to go fuck yourself. The rest of you guys, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Tell me what you think. Did I do a good job explaining it? Could I have explained it in an easier way? As usual, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.